Hi guys! Eventually I have decided to explain to you why have I got a smart doll for. A smart doll obviously is not BJD, and I'm into the BJD mostly, but I was planning to get this doll for a long time, probably since I was into kind of dolls with articulation, and the first time I heard about the Danny Chu dolls, though I didn't like the anime, so this doll was repainted to my liking by one of the artists in the UK, and I want to share with you why have I got this doll and what's the connection. Before I start, I was just to mention that on the background you can see two dolls, these outfits I made, and I did share the outfits on one of the Facebook groups where you just showing your creations, and that's from the Handmaid's Tale. People who watched it, they might recognize it. And this was the most torturous outfits I ever made, not because of they're quite simple to make, they're simple dresses and cloaks, and when I looked at the pictures to understand what fabric they use to produce these dresses, it appeared to be a very kind of jersey fabric, but obviously for human it's different, so I found a jersey fabric very thin, and I had really painful conversation with this fabric, and my sewing machine was literally chewing it even after I adjusted the tension and did everything I can possibly do. But anyway, I kind of been tortured, not like obviously these women in the in that series, but I had similar kind of experience with my sewing machine. Anyway, if we come back to the smart doll, so let me put you down and I will show you something. So I have got a diary, and it looks like that. So people who might see this sign, they think, whoa, well, it's nothing to do with evil or demons or anything like that. It's slightly different, so I don't know if anyone recognized that or not. That's something which I used to do, and not a lot of people come out with this thing. And I used to be interested a lot in Enochian magic, though I'm not anymore. I kind of moved on, though I had some experiences with it, and all the experiences I had written down here, and it's quite a big book of my kind of diary. Also, my diary contains a little booklet which I personally typed in. It was typed in from the voice recording. So when it was, so let's say, exactly almost 10 years ago, in 2009, I contacted one of the, he's very famous guy in this whole kind of Akashic record thingy. I know the Enochian magic is not really connected to Akashic records, but I do believe there is some sort of records about all of our souls somewhere. It's kind of information. When you die, the information doesn't just disappear. Our energy around us, you don't need to believe in God or any spirits to kind of even understand the physical world, how it works. Nothing just disappears. Always something remains. So this piece of information remains, and this becomes, well, some people call it Akashic records and so on, kind of global information database, or like a database. And I was kind of at the time, 2009, August, I was wondering what's written about my soul. People who don't believe in this kind of thing, I think it's better if you don't watch this, because then you just laugh about me or call me stupid or uneducated, but that's quite the opposite. Anyway, so the guy who did my Akashic reading, I can tell you his name if it matters. It's Mick Avery or Avery. So the Gregory Hay through Mick Avery or Avery, I don't know how to pronounce his surname correctly. And there was an assistant in there with him who was recording it for me. So interestingly, so you supply them with your date of birth, your all the kind of more details, what time you've been born, where you was born, not just the date of birth, it's like the time. It's like you usually need to give you details for your personal horoscope, for example, so pretty much the same details, the time you was born exactly if possible, the place in the planet, and so on. You have 5 questions to ask, plus they just gonna read your soul if you wish. And they did for 45 minutes, I think, or 43 minutes. They read me as an open book. They knew nothing about me at all. Not because I tried to, tie up to me or anything. I was very skeptical, like about Akashic records, but I was always interested in it. I was skeptical because of how would you know? You just so many Marinas in the world with the same, maybe similar surname, or maybe, okay, the date of birth may be different in the place and the time, but so the planet kind of stand in a certain way when you're born. That's how different we are all. So it's quite a lot of letters or words or sentences, because I had to listen to it and write everything down in case I will lose recording or something will happen to it, get corrupted. As you know, the digital media doesn't really offer the forever storage. And one thing I was told, that there is a spirit that follows me, and not that I was surprised about it, I wasn't, and that spirit was originally belonged to a person who died in Hiroshima and Nagasaki during the Second World War, and I always had a very strong feelings about the Second World War, always. That was something I really passionate about, in terms of it's such a sad part of the human history and disastrous. So it was interesting because it's kind of brought out when he mentioned this in the recordings about the Second World War and Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which, as you know, it's the 2 atomic bombs which US dropped on Japan to stop kind of them to be aggressive. It was in 1945 already, when the war nearly was almost over, when the Russians went to Berlin and put the flag on top of the Reichstag. And he said that this spirit, a spirit of woman that follows me because I've got certain, not a talent, but certain skill to see or feel other people pain or illnesses. And there is obviously a reason. Maybe I chose the healthcare, so I'm a registered nurse, I'm qualified, and before that I always was involved in clinical trials before I qualified. So I'm kind of always been in this, boiling in this soup of healthcare, medicine, and so on. And he said that the name of the spirit is Tashobi Orakin. Tashobi Orakin, he repeated a few times because I thought that's never heard of this before. And that girl is so she basically represents that spirit. Some people say it's weird, and I must admit I will never put anything into any of my dolls at all. All my BJDs, they keep their sculpt name, their company name, so I always keep them to what they are. I never have a stories really, apart from when I make a photo shoots with them. So I dress them how I wish them to be in that story, but they don't have a story behind that photo shoot, they're just dolls. But this one has got a very, very special connection to me, and not because it's necessarily smart doll or Danichi or anything to do with him. It's to do with Japan. And she, for some reason, struck me the most, that kind of dolls from Japan, made in Japan, produced in there, has to come home here to be my spirit in a physical form, if you wish. It's very interesting. I don't know if you're interested to know exactly what the words was about this woman was. I can read it for you. So now you have an individual who walks with you by the name of Tashobi Oraken, and he repeated Tashobi, how to spell it, and so on. Who is Japanese? She is your doorkeeper, which is same as like a spirit guide. She's a girl with a small feet. She has sticks in her hair that appear to point outwards and downwards, like they supporting her neck, which is elongated and white. Tashobi is your doorkeeper. She is living light of your life. She is the person who walks with you, is witness to your life, has grace and beauty and innocence and charm. She sometimes shuffles along behind you as though wearing the lips of perfect china, and yet at the same time I understand that she had a perfect residence about her in her physical life. I understand also that she passed in the city of Nagasaki and she was a victim of a very traumatic event, so I think that was the bomb. I understand that Tashobi was a person who was very eminent by her life. She was not rich, but she courted by many people who were. She was a person of attitude. She wrote a poetry, painted delicate pieces. She has an orientation of spatial awareness, which was as though all peace descending within her life. This is the person who is a witness to your life, simply remains at the background, quiet and composed, waiting to be sensed, waiting to be felt, but not airing any of the whisper of her breath upon you. When I'm reading it, I get goosebumps, and that means that there is something is present. This was led by, they were talking about the kind of medical background to certain things which aren't kind of related to me, and then it went to that spirit guide or doorkeeper they call it. But this was very interesting what's written about me in Akashic record. Even a good psychologist will never be able to get it out of me, and these people didn't know me at all apart from my name. That's it. So that's why she is here with me. She is my Tashobi Oraken, who is apparently my doorkeeper. I did have many experiences of what you call abnormal or paranormal events in life, and I heard, I sensed, I seen a lot of things. And so I don't need to be persuaded to believe or not to believe. I just know what's around me. And before I go, I'll show you something else not related to this conversation. Just put you down, I'll show you this one. So I went to the exhibition in Sandringham Palace. Sandringham Ground, sorry, not Palace. Sandringham Ground is a Queen's resident in the UK during, I think, summertime or something like that. Anyway, so there's a huge ground, like acres and acres of land, and there was a like exhibition in there of arts, crafts, woodwork, like jewelry and everything. And that alpaca was there. That's a real alpaca. I mean, not real, but a real alpaca fur. It's so soft, you wouldn't believe it. The guy who was selling it, and I found out, he actually selling them on Etsy as well. And I got this one for 25 quid. And when I went on Etsy, it was discounted by to £11 plus postage from Peru, which in the end will probably gonna be 25 quid anyway. But so if you like alpaca, they are perfect for this. Was 32 centimeters tall. There were 16 ones and 10, I think, a little dinky one, tiny ones. But obviously, I wanted something for BGD. But when I looked on the Etsy site or Etsy store, they had 52 centimeter tall alpaca. Look at it, they look like real. I mean, come on, they look like real. I think they're even bandy, so you can band them. So yeah, that's really funky buy. And the fur doesn't come out of it at all. It's really fun. I mean, it's like you're stroking I don't know, really soft rabbit or something. It's obviously it's alpaca. Okay guys, I hope you didn't put my channel under the people with some problems. Will have problems. And thank you for watching. I'll be back with some more videos soon. With maybe I'm thinking making video about tips and tricks in BGD hobby. Bye. See you later.